give me a moment. Now I'd like to thank this one most important gentleman.
Guys! Few minutes more, please!
I'm sorry it's a long speech, but this has to be told. He first came into Ronald's life when he was just 8 months old, and has been an integral part of it ever since. For 27 years thereafter, he has taken care of Ronald's every need, be it changing diapers, cooking up a late night meal, or an early morning tiffin, or saving Ronald from my wax. Lakshman has always been there for him. That's not enough. Some more. Since he doesn't understand English, I'd like to say a word, a sentence in Hindi for him, which probably will sum up whatever I'm trying to say. Okay. तुमने 27 years हमारे लिए जो भी किया है, अकेले जो भी किया है, हर सुबह गुड मॉर्निंग का सलाम करता था, राइट? आज मैं तुमको सलाम Thank you to all my Bhojwani family. Can I hear it for you all? All right. For actively taking part in all the festivities, turning up at every dance practice, turning up for every after party, just being there for us. Truly blessed to have such a large family, and a very special mention here to Manoj and Bhavika. You were truly and deeply missed. Absolutely, truly and deeply missed. We are very grateful for Ronald's friends who've come from San Francisco, Seattle, Raleigh, LA, New York, Miami, London, Mumbai, Dubai. And to each and every one of my Hyderabad family. I don't see most of them here, but they are all outside. Yeah, all of them who made this trek all the way to Ras Al Khaimah. Thank you, Kavita. I don't see you here. Where are you? Yeah, I love you. And thank you for being there for us through thick and thin. You honestly have been my forever support. And I love you. I don't know if Ravi Bhaiya is here. I don't know if Ravi Bhaiya is here. But Ravi Bhaiya, आपके घर पे 2 दिन बाद शादी है, बावजूद इसके आप सब परिवार रौनक और साक्षी के लिए इतनी दूर आए, ये कोई छोटी बात नहीं है और हमको ये हमेशा याद रहेगी. So thank you, Baswani family, for actually being here for us. And finally, my speech is coming to an end, and I'm not sorry that it was so long. It was meant to be. So finally, I would like to thank Sanjay and Anuradha. Can I see Sanjay Bhaiya? Anuradha is okay. Very, very special thank you to Sanjay and Anuradha from the bottom of my heart. You have shared your beautiful daughter with us. आपने मुझसे एक बार कहा था कि आपने अपनी बेटी को, और आज नाना ने भी कहा था कि आपने अपनी बेटी को सारी उम्र अपने सर पे बिठाया. आज मैं और इस बार सबके सामने दोहराऊंगी कि अगर आपने अपने सर पे बिठाया है तो कोशिश हम ज़रूर करेंगे कि कम से कम पलकों पे बिठाएं. Okay. So let's give it up. Over to Yui. Yui.
Thanks, guys, but I don't know how I'm going to follow that up. I wish I would have gone first, but our speeches would have improved in order. So I'm going to start by saying, first of all, can we have a loud round of applause for the new couple? Ronak and Sakshi! Look, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but I wasn't able to show any pictures here tonight, unfortunately. So I've got about 1,000 words instead. So bear with me, please. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Yuvraj. I've had the pleasure and the enormous burden of being Ronak's best friend for the last 17 years. And I have to say, this moment is quite surreal. I still can't believe this is happening. But here we are, and I couldn't be happier. And partially that's also because I feel like a giant weight has been lifted off my shoulders. So thank you Sakshi for that. Ron and I go way back. Like way back. To give you an idea how far back, we first met as scrawny preteens in Wellington International School in Dubai. And let me tell you, it was not love at first sight. In fact, we hated each other in the beginning, believe it or not. And to be honest, I'm surprised Ron even saw me at all in school. Because if you saw him in school at the age of 12, he was walking around like this. I was genuinely concerned that he was going to fall over something and hit himself. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But then one fateful night, my parents had a party at home, and our parents were friends even before we were. And it was supposed to be a no kids party, but then uncle and auntie brought Ron over. And in the beginning I was like, oh my god, there goes my night. But then we ended up sitting upstairs watching a movie, and I still remember that red couch, and we were both on opposite sides, sitting like this and not talking to each other and just trying to watch this awkward movie. And then eventually we got to talking, and we realized, hey, this guy's not so bad. And then it was like a rom-com plot twist, and our friendship blossomed from there. I have too many memories from our childhood for me to share right now, so I'll just share a few highlights instead. So first one is, we used to sit in the high school auditorium after school. This is like we're barely 13 years old, and we used to sit there and we used to have conversations about the most philosophical things. Where we want to live when we're older, how we want to settle down, the type of women we want to marry, the type of kids we want to have, how we want to raise them. Yeah, looking back, we were some pretty weird 13-year-olds. We went to school cricket team together. I still remember how much Ronnie used to berate me for my butterfingers on the field. He never lets me forget. Admittedly, I did have a few problems with fielding, but he conveniently seems to leave out the one match where he helped us win. I'm not surprised. We conquered the streets of Dubai in our first cars. His car was a BMW, of course, it's Ron. And it was called Phoenix. And I still remember the late nights we used to sit next to each other, parked by the lake, and again discussing these philosophical things. I still don't know why that happened. Also, speaking of cars, there's a story involving a car and an elephant statue outside the Bojwani household, which I'll maybe save for another day. I'll tell auntie and uncle in private. I know what happened to that statue, you don't. We went to many high school parties together, and what those high school parties looked like was a bunch of scruffy teenagers on one side, and Ron on the other side dressed like he'd just come from a Louis Vuitton photo shoot, and he was going to a presidential debate after the party. And not just that, but he loved to make an entrance. So he was always fashionably late, and that meant he walked in 2 hours after everybody else. So I don't want to count how many hours I wasted waiting for Ron at parties. As we grew older, we took our SAT classes together preparing for college. And in those SAT classes, we did less preparation for the SAT, and we watched more Jodha Akbar parody videos. And I'm going to blame that for my SAT score. Let's just say that. Finally, as we became young adults, the time came to go to college. I went to the Midwest, Ronak went to Dartmouth. By the way, that's Dartmouth, an Ivy League school. I'm only saying that because Ron would kill me if I didn't mention it. But even that distance couldn't keep us apart. We visited each other's campuses, we traveled across the US, and we had a blast doing it. And we made friends along the way with each other's friends groups, and a lot of friends are here today. And I love you boys. Thanks for being here. Now let me tell you about the times that we weren't physically together. Our long distance relationship, as I like to call it. For almost a decade when we were both in the US, we spoke every single day. And I'm not talking about like a quick call or text. I'm talking about 3-hour-long phone calls, day after day after day after day. And we chatted about everything, from what we had for breakfast, to what our life plans were, and how Ron wants to make $20 million as soon as possible. I'll never forget. And when we weren't on the phone, we were virtually watching movies together. By the way, Ron is the biggest movie buff I know. He's seen more movies than anyone I know, and he writes detailed reviews for each movie. So whenever I want to watch a movie, I just ask Ron. So that's a tip for everyone. Don't bombard his telephone, please. And when we weren't doing that, we were gaming online with our trusty bobos. Again, who are here today. Shout out to the boys. It hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows though. In 2020, I was at a pretty low point in my life. And I received some of the toughest love I've ever gotten from Ron. And believe me, this man can craft insults that you didn't even think are possible. Until you hear them. But it was exactly what I needed. And later, when Ron faced his own challenges, I got to play the role of a personal trainer and got to watch him shed 20 kilos like a Bollywood and Hollywood superstar. Point is, whether we're a 20-second walk away from each other in Dubai, or whether we're 14,000 kilometers apart across the world, we've been through thick and thin together, and we've been there for each other no matter what. Our bond is truly something special, and believe me when I say that. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, it's a once-in-a-sat janam kind of thing. I don't expect to ever find it again, and if anyone manages to find a relationship like that, cherish it. We're each other's go-to guys. The first call when something goes right, the first call when something goes wrong, the first call when something gets tricky, the biggest source of motivation when things get tough. Ronnie's not just my best friend, he's my little brother, and he's my big brother wrapped into one big package. An annoying package, let me tell you. And Ronnie, now, as you take this momentous next step in your life with Sakshi by your side, I could give you, the typical phrases like open your heart, embrace the journey, and all that stuff. But I think you don't need that flowery advice because you've been through this roller coaster for 16 years. I think you'll navigate this one very well. You've got a lot of practice. With that said, on this special day, dear bhai, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you. You've got character, you've got heart, and you're somebody that people around you can count on. Except when it comes to playing Catan or Call of Duty. That brings me, and by the way, I just want to say that everything I'm saying can be backed up by the fact that Ron has friends from each and every stage of his life, from middle school in Dubai, to college, to his job, and all in between. He has people from all over representing him here today. So that speaks volumes. So that brings me to the gorgeous bride, Sakshi. Sakshi, thank you for being the Basanti to our JNBU. Thank you for bringing that extra spark into Ron's life. I've never seen my brother as smitten. I've never seen him with a bigger smile on his face. And I've never seen him this excited to spend all his time with one person. Unless that person is me, of course. The next speech is back. No. Yeah. I just want to end by saying, Sakshi, thank you for making my brother the happiest man in the world. I love you both to bits, and I wish you a lifetime filled with adventures, laughter, and endless love. ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे। Sakshi. Back.